Hello. Hi, Claire. Hi, Aunt Laura. Oh, getting some love. Right, we are going to wait a few more minutes to get some more people on. We're up to 20 some people. That's great. Just want to get a few more people on. I do have somebody here special that's in person watching this, so come on over. Everybody, this is Junior Ranger Marianne. If you want to say hi, this is my daughter, Marianne. She's sporting a lot of her Junior Ranger badges today to join us. Oh, we're getting some love for Marianne. The Junior Ranger programs are amazing.
Oh my God, I love those so
much. Junior Ranger programs are amazing. They're across the National Park Service. Here in Richmond, we have 2 national parks, and we both have online Junior Ranger programs. You can download the Junior Ranger booklet and complete them online and send them in to us, and we will gladly send you a badge or a patch back to you and your family. So if you're looking for things to do with your loved ones at home, I am also not only a park ranger, I am now a preschool teacher at home. So Junior Ranger booklets are amazing. There's also Web Rangers online with the National Park Service, and you can create your own ranger station and your own badge, and there's so many unique things. Independence Hall has an amazing online Junior Ranger program. There are some awesome ranger programs out there. So if you're looking for something to do, check out online Junior Ranger programs. And then when we get through this and our parks open back up to everybody, come out and support your national parks and bring your kiddos and do a Junior Ranger program in person. Awesome. Thanks, Marianne. Okay, so it seems like we got a lot of people on, and I'm ready to get started if you're ready to get started. I am Ranger Stephanie. I am very excited to be at my house today. I am teleworking, that is right. I am a park ranger that's been put on telework, but that doesn't mean that I am not passionate and dedicated to being a national park ranger. I absolutely love my job. I was an education coordinator for Richmond National Battlefield Park and Maggie L. Walker National Historic Site in Richmond, Virginia. So I know not everyone is from the East Coast and in Virginia that's on here today, so I printed a little map of Virginia. And I want to show you that Richmond, oops, I'm getting this right yet. There we go. There's Richmond. There's DC. We're in Richmond, Virginia. So if that's where if you guys need a little reference where we're at, there are not only 1, but 2 national park units in Richmond. I feel kind of special. And I was an education specialist there here for 5 years. And I absolutely have a passion to work with kids and youth and really educate them about our national parks. And here I am today. I'm going to be doing our first Ranger Chat, and one of my programs that I like to do out on the battlefield is the 5 deadliest items of the Civil War. That's right, I have all 5 deadliest items sitting in my house with my 5-year-old. So it's going to be fun. This is a little different for me, and if you guys have questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat box. I have some rangers, hopefully, that are monitoring our chats to help me kind of monitor through this. I appreciate all the love and support all of you are giving. And if you want to put in here like where you're from, where you're watching from, we'd love to see that. We want to kind of monitor and see where we're reaching out to and our visitors. This is something new. We're going to try to continue to do it with all kinds of unique topics for all ages. So we're hoping to do this weekly, if not a couple times a week with different rangers. Oh, thanks, Janet. I know it's going to be cool. Emily, right down the street, my neighbor. Hello, Eva and Piper. Melissa across the street. Thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate it. And Brian, thank you, UPS. He's dedicated out there. I'm just telling you guys, oh, thank you from Short Pump. You guys are just amazing. But we're going to go ahead and get started because I know internet is definitely being used a lot around here lately. Okay, so the Civil War. There's going to be two sides during any kind of war, right? There's these battles that are happening, but it's going to happen right here in the United States. And these two sides are going to be the North versus the South. And the North versus the South, they're going to elect presidents. Now, presidents are very important. They run our country, right? So, for the North, we're going to be electing Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln's going to be on the North or the Union side. Now, there's only one and only president that's elected for the South, and that's going to be Jefferson Davis. He is the one and the only Confederate president ever elected. So, those of you who live in Virginia know who knows what the name of Route 1 is. Route 1. The road, Route 1. Anybody know? Can put it in the chat. Okay, we got something here. Somebody's joining in. Hi, Kaylin. Route 1 is also known as Jefferson Davis Highway. Great way to remember your only one and only Confederate president. Route 1, Jefferson Davis Highway. Jefferson Davis. Awesome. I always come up with corny ways to remember things. Folks, if you've never been to one of my programs, they are intense. Okay? So we have our two presidents. Our two presidents now are going to appoint generals, commanders of their generals, and these two men are going to be in charge of two separate armies. So, for the North, Abraham Lincoln is going to appoint Ulysses S. Grant. Now wait, I know. Some of you guys on here are going to be like, whoa, 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 Ranger Steph, there was another guy. Guess what? I have his picture too. He's pretty handsome. First, there was George B. McClellan in 1861, at the very beginning. Yes, you're absolutely right. But for Virginia SOLs, which did get canceled, our fourth graders need to know Ulysses S. Grant. So we're going to focus on him today. So Ulysses S. Grant, he is going to be the commander general for the Union Army, okay? Now, for the South, we're going to be appointed Robert E. Lee. Robert E. Lee is going to be appointed as general. Yes, this is him. And he is going to be in commander. Now, we need to find our capitals. Oh, all my papers are on the floor. So, capitals. We already had Washington, D.C. here. That is going to be our nation's capital today, is the same nation's capital during the Civil War. Now, the South had to pick a place to make their capital. The Confederacy had to find a place. And so they were in Alabama and they were like, oh, this isn't working, but it's not what we need. But there is a place in Virginia called Richmond. Now, Richmond, Virginia has a lot of unique things in it to make it a perfect place for a capital. One, the James River. It's a perfect defense. All you have to do is burn down all the bridges and you can't get across. Plus, it's bringing items in from the Chesapeake Bay and items from resources in from the mountain region. There's a major canal system coming into the city of Richmond. There are 5 major railroads also coming in to the city of Richmond. And there's these things called factories, industries. Factories and industry, something that the South was not known for. Those of you students who have been learning about the North and the South know that the North was known for industry and factories, but the South was known for this really cool word called agriculture or farming. They were not known for this. So Richmond was just far enough north in the South that it had both agriculture, and industry. But I don't know about you guys. I have played this game called Capture the Flag before. I know you guys probably have some kids out there that have played Capture the Flag, and you yourself has probably played Capture the Flag. Richmond is only 100 miles south of Washington, D.C. That's probably not a good maneuver, but it seemed to work. It took over 5 years to get to the city of Richmond, so something must have worked. Now, Richmond had targets on its back ever since it broke out, the Civil War broke out. And here in the battlefields, it's let me hold this up a little closer. You will see that all our battlefields are along the 295 corridor. So you can see downtown Richmond. Let me put my finger there. All our battlefields are outside the city of Richmond. There was fortifications that were built around the city of Richmond to protect it. We have over 13 battlefield sites that Richmond National Battlefield protects. There was no such thing as just the Battle of Richmond. It was constantly being attacked. It constantly had a target. So here we have 2 campaigns that came through. We have our campaign in 1862, the Peninsula Campaign, and we have the Overland Campaign in 1864. Now these park maps are out at our battlefields. Social distancing, I know you can still pick them up at our battlefields, but definitely you can also download this on our website as well if you're interested in going out to our battlefield sites. Awesome. You might catch me out there. Okay. I know it is sad that we're closed, but guess what? We're live, and that's the part that's great, okay? Just remember, we're still here sharing our love and our passion with you guys. Now, so we have these battles that are happening around the city of Richmond, and one of those big battles is the Battle of Cold Harbor in 1864. Now, the Battle of Cold Harbor, soldiers are going to be living for 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks in trenches. And this is in the month, and at the end of May, beginning of June. It's hot, icky. You guys all know how it's going to get here in a few months. Okay, it's not going to be good. So we're going to start with our first deadliest item of the Civil War. I have a couple of things here. We have a couple of jackets. This is a Confederate jacket. You guys can tell by the color. It's gray. And if you guys were in here in person, they stink. All right, so we have that. We also have a Union jacket. Awesome. Now, who can tell me what these are made out of? Who can tell me these are made out of? Anybody? What do you think this material is? Awesome. Getting a couple people. Okay. Great. These are made out of wool. These are wool jackets. The Battle of Cold Harbor was at the beginning of June. It is so hot. I don't know about you guys, but in June, I like to be wearing shorts and flippy floppies. Okay? I am not wearing wool. Wool is definitely a winter item. Okay? So here these soldiers are wearing wool jackets. They get hot, they get sweaty. They're probably not intaking as much water and as food as they need to. And so they get something called heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Definitely something you can die from. There's also these little itty bitty bugs in here that nobody really wants to talk about, and it's called lice. Ew. Okay? These soldiers did not get to do laundry a whole lot or get to take baths. And so there's little itty bitty bugs that like to live inside that can also wreak havoc on yourself. I don't know about you guys, but if any bug was on me, awesome. A park ranger that doesn't like bugs. I'm sorry, folks. But yes, heat exhaustion, heat stroke. One item or one way that soldiers could die. Another way from their uniforms. Another way is if they couldn't identify, if they didn't have the right uniform on, they could be shot by friendly fire. So making sure you had the right color on and the right uniform, that's pretty important. Awesome. Yes. Marianne says, ooh, bugs. Okay. So next item, woohoo, shoes. Oh, these things are awesome, aren't they? These things would kill me just wearing them, just looking at them. All right, so these shoes right here are boots. They're heavy, leather. They have a square toe. I'm sure you guys can see that. If you look at the bottom of them, there are nails in the heels. Nails, stitching, and there's no traction at all. They barely bend. Ah, I know, my muscles. They barely bend. They're not very flexible. And you're wearing socks that look a bit like this. Okay, so you're wearing really, really thick wool socks. So here we are wearing these socks. We're marching 10 to 15 miles a day. And when you're marching 10 to 15 miles a day with shoes that really don't fit your feet, because guess what, folks? They only made whole size shoes. So if you're a 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, you would have to go up a shoe size or down a shoe size. So you would have to wear a 7 if you wore a 6.5. And when you're wearing shoes that don't fit your feet quite right, you get this thing called a blister, okay? Now I know we've experienced blisters, ladies. Trust me, we always want to wear the cute shoes and they just don't fit right. But these blisters, folks, they didn't have Band-Aids, they didn't have Neosporin, they didn't have a way to treat their itty bitty blister issue, and so it got infected. And that infection can get in your bloodstream, and another painful way to go, folks, but it definitely happened. You could die from having a blister and getting it infected. So shoes. Also, unique thing about shoes is there is no right or left foot. You could put it on either foot. Pretty cool, huh? So that's why they have square toes. And there's no arch support, trust me. All right, moving on. We are moving on to my favorite subject, which is food. Awesome. I love to talk about food. Most Rangers do. Here's a look at what a haversack kind of looks like, so you can get an idea. So this is kind of like a lunch pail that would hold all your rations or your food you would get in here. And there's no such thing as plastic bags or preservatives or anything like that to keep your food from getting little critters in them. This is what you'd just be carrying your food around in. And here is one of the meals, or part of a meal, that a Confederate soldier would get. So some of you will say, oh, this looks like cheese. This isn't cheese. It's kind of grainy. It is in a plastic bag. Yes, I know. It's because it'll make a hot mess if I don't. But this is cornmeal. So how many of you guys have had cornbread before? Go ahead and give me some thumbs up if you guys have had cornbread. I know there's some thumbs up. People who like cornbread out there. I love cornbread.
Me too.
You love cornbread? Awesome. Awesome. So cornmeal is going to be a Confederate soldier's diet. Once again, they are known for their plantations, their agriculture, their farming. So they are going to be making something that's kind of like a hush puppy. Those of you who've had hush puppies before, okay, definitely you're going to need some kind of fat. See, soldiers didn't have eggs. They didn't have milk. They didn't have any of those things because they would all spoil or they'd break in their knapsacks. So they're going to have something called salt pork. Salt pork is kind of like leftover fat, and they can cook it in like a skillet. Well, some soldiers, they got crafty. They didn't have a skillet. They would bust apart a canteen. So this is half of a canteen here. They would bust that open, heat up that leftover fat, and then they would pour their cornmeal in. They would either be able to roll it around, maybe they'd chop up whatever leftover meat was left in there, and they would be able to sit here and eat it. Their best way to eat was with their digits, that's right, their hands. They didn't really have a whole lot of silverware. Some of them would have a spoon or a knife or something, but for the most part they would eat with their hands, and they would eat cornmeal or something that looks similar to a hush puppy or a Johnny cake. Awesome. Now, so that was a Confederate soldier. What did a Union soldier eat? This cool thing. It's called hardtack, not heart attack, hardtack. Now, this could get loud, okay? It is definitely kind of loud. This piece of bread, it's just flour and water cooked at a low temperature for a very long time. I actually made this piece. Yes, you can make them. I think this piece is, I don't know, Ranger Candace, I would say probably about 3 years old. I make hardtack every school year to have out for kids to feel and touch. I can post the recipe on our park Facebook page so you can make it with your kids at home. It's super easy. And then you guys can try to eat it. It's pretty fun. All right, so hardtack. Hardtack, flour and water cooked for a very long time at a very low temperature. This right here, folks, is square, has little holes in it. They needed to make a lot of these. So of course the North, with their industry, needed, they were the ones to make this. Now how do you eat it? This cool thing had a couple of unique nicknames. One is Tooth Dollar or Tooth Buster. You bite into it and you bust your tooth. And you only needed 2 teeth to join the military, folks. Whew, only 2 teeth. If you busted one of those, that goes your job, okay? So another name for it was worm castles. I don't like that name. Soldiers would heat up coffee. There's no Starbucks, so they made it over an open fire. They would make that coffee, drop their hardtack in. As they dropped that hardtack in, the hardtack would soak up the coffee. It would also, that hot water would make any of the bugs kind of crawl out, any of those worms crawl out. Then you were able to reach in, pull it out, and it would be nice and soft, and it would have flavor, a coffee flavor. Now, soldiers here, they would just pour this out, right? I mean, it's no good anymore. It's got worms in it. Nope, folks. We have accounts that soldiers said they would rather eat at night than during the day, just because they don't want to know what's in their food. So they would wash it down, worms and all. You guys will appreciate lunch now, right? So how did food kill you? Good question. There are no fruits and vegetables. None in your diet. You weren't eating right. You weren't eating a healthy diet. You kids out there and your parents and your food triangle, all right? You're not getting everything that you need. And so here, you're just trying to find food to eat. And if you didn't eat enough like apples or vitamin C, you're gonna get really, really sick. And that's what happened to a lot of soldiers. They would get really sick from not eating enough fruits and vegetables. So kids out there, when your mom says to eat your broccoli, okay? Because I don't need you, one of my statistics, okay? Awesome. Now, let's move on to, oops. Yeah, we'll do this one. We're gonna do the canteen. Some people are wondering, how can you die from a canteen? Well, it's not necessarily canteen, but the canteen is representing what goes in it. Water. Water. Here, folks, you're not going to put Mountain Dew in this, all right? During the Civil War, you're going to put water. The only place you can really fill up with water in your canteen is a stream, a lake, a river. There's no water fountains, no Aquafina, no Poland Springs, okay? So, we're going to go over, we're going to fill up our water bottle. I'm going to drink it. Marianne, you look thirsty, so you're going to drink some. I'm going to share with everybody because everybody needs a little water, all right? No, this is not something that we normally practice now, right? Is sharing our water bottles. Definitely not. So here is just one way of soldiers sharing their germs. Another thing that would happen with water is as they drank it, and they would go back down to the stream, fill up again, drink it some more. Ooh, they would get this thing I like to call the gurgle, gurgle, thunder down under. They would get really sick to their stomach. There's bad bacteria living in the water. Soldiers did not know at the time that if they boiled the water, they would burn off that bad bacteria. it would make them sick. And they would get something after drinking bad water and the sharing of the germs and bad hygiene called dysentery. Yes, folks, we know about going number 1. We know about going number 2. We know about going number 3. There's a number 4 out there. It's called dysentery. It is so bad. Basically, soldiers would just wilt away from not being able to hold anything in their system. Soldiers didn't understand if they went to the bathroom upstream and filled up their canteens downstream, that they were getting all that icky stuff in their water. Yes, folks. So canteens, water, disease spread rampant through camps. All right. My last but not least, that was number 4. My last but not least item. Oh, this is how I keep in shape, folks. I have a 12-pound cannonball here. So, deadly item, right? A cannonball, a gunshot, a musket bullet. Getting shot at is, you would think, is the number 1 way of dying during the Civil War. This was one of the ways you can die during the Civil War, definitely. And don't worry, this is not real for all of you guys. It is a prop item that we use at the park, but it is very heavy. It weighs 12 pounds. So this right here is another example, probably the easiest example of how somebody could die during the Civil War. But I want to see if some of you guys can vote which is the deadliest. So we're going to go ahead and see if you can put in the comments which item is the deadliest item. Anybody put? So is it the cannonball or a musket? Oh, that's so heavy. Putting that down. Is it food? Did food kill you? This would kill me. Is it a uniform? Heat exhaustion? Heat stroke? Is it wearing ugly shoes like this? No, blisters, infections. Just a minor scrape could kill you. Or is it the canteen? Water. Go ahead, post it in your comments. Oh, I'm loving you guys. Oh, Melissa, you're saying the cannonball? Your mind's going to be blown, girl. All right, folks. Thank you for all your comments coming in. It is water. A lot of you are absolutely correct. Water, disease, killed more men during the Civil War than any musket or bullet or cannonball ever did. Why? A lot of people wonder why, Ranger Steph. You weren't constantly in battle, but everybody needs water in order to survive. Everybody. Food, water, shelter, everything you need in order to survive. So, if you are not in the battle, you still need to drink water, and they're still not practicing safe hygiene or learning or understanding that there is bacteria in the water. Folks, I hope you enjoyed my little Ranger chat. I will be taking some questions. If you are interested in posting a few questions, I'd love to see them. Yes, JD, soldiers took baths in the creeks and they drank from that too. Yep, awesome. So everyone, I'm going to make my junior ranger on here with me. Awesome, she was excellent during this. If anybody has any questions, I'd love to help you out. Yeah, I would hate to be alive back then too. One, I couldn't wear the shoes or the dresses. Nope. Oh, Bert never drinks water. Eats a lot of chocolate, though. Awesome. Oh, thank you, Lawrence. I appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you. Emily says, hi, Marianne. Can you say hi to Piper and Eva?
Hi, Piper and Eva.
Awesome. 4 times. Oh, your great uncle died from dysentery during the Civil War. Jessica, that's such a unique connection. Yeah, dysentery would not know. I have no desire to be on the toilet that much. Yes. Hang on. I'm not touching enough. All right. Awesome.
Bye.
And then they brush their teeth. I don't think teeth brushing was such a priority when they only had two teeth. Oh, Jackie, you're a reenactor, and okay, so I'm getting this from Jackie. I'm a reenactor, and I am 9 years old. Well, I'm really excited to see reenactors. We love having them at the park. We hope you can come out to one of our battlefield sites someday. Awesome. We have a huge event on June 6th, our Cold Harbor anniversary event. If you guys would like to come out, mark your calendars for June 6th. I'm hoping we can get through all this craziness right now, and we can all be back enjoying ourselves and not have to worry about too much social distancing. Okay, awesome. Great. Thank you again. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate all of your guys' support. This is Ranger Steph and Junior Ranger Marianne, and we are going to sign off. Thank you guys. Support your national parks and watch our Facebook for more fun with flat hats with Ranger Chats. Thank you.
Mom, I did really